What is up, everybody? Welcome back to DVDs, Nuts, and Popcorn. I'm your host, the PMM, the Physical Media Mac. And yes, I do ride with Ty White. Now, welcome to another pickups video. And this is probably going to be the most diverse and epic pickups video I've ever done. I have some really cool shit to show off, guys. Now, this is probably the worst iced coffee I've ever had in my life. Starbucks line was around the block, so I decided to go to McDonald's. I don't mind McDonald's coffee. I get McDonald's coffee every morning, a hot coffee. And I don't mind their iced coffee as well. This is 5 minutes in, guys. There's no ice left in the coffee. It's all melted. And since when did McDonald's have medium-sized cups as their larges? Or do they just run out of larges and lie to me? Because this does not seem like a large cup to me. We're the fattest country in the world. Are you telling me McDonald's is trying to help us with our obesity problem now? They're the forerunner on reducing the size of cups so they can save the world from obesity? I don't think so. Luckily, I got a water as well. We never would have made it through the video. An iced coffee with no ice. Go figure. All right, let's get into this. I got a lot of other stuff I need to take care of today. Well, let's start off, let's kind of work our way into the greatness here. Let's do most recent pickups first. All right, I don't really have any notes on this stuff, but, well, I was about to say most of you guys know these films, but 2 of the 4 you might not know at all. But the OG, or not the OG actually, this is the remake. And speaking of remakes, I kind of put this up there with John Carpenter's The Thing. The original The Thing, which I think was a black and white film, was a really good movie, but the remake was leaps and bounds better than it. I mean, just simple and plain. It's like John Carpenter made his own movie, his own interpretation of it, and it just came out a lot better. I would say the same with this in Cronenberg. I definitely prefer this over the original. What was it, Vincent Price, right? Was it the OG one? But yeah, man, Jeff Goldblum. Is it Jeff Goldblum? Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, not Bloom. Anyway, this is a, I've never seen that cover before, the white cover. I kind of like it. And I, strangely enough, did not own this, except I do believe I have this on Laserdisc. Do not quote me on that, though. It's got the insert. It's got 2 discs for some reason. It must have special features. Oh yeah, it does have some special features. You guys want to check those out? You can pause it right there. Screenshot it. It says The Fly is a true Cronenberg masterpiece. Yeah, man, I remember watching this repeatedly over and over and over again back in the day. I think I used to watch this on HBO all the time. Really good shit, man. Lots of great practical effects. Jeff Goldblum's amazing in this film. Of course, it has Gina Davis. Yeah, what more can I say about it? Notice how I keep that pinky down like a real stud of a man. All right, now, y'all know how I love my movie names, and this one got me here. Of course, you have Internal Affairs with Andy Garcia and our boy Richard Gere, but now we have Infernal Affairs. And I did some research on, by the way, these are all Goodwill pickups. I did some research on this, and it actually got really good reviews. What does it say on the back here? Mean Streets Crispness. transcends the crime thriller genre. New York Daily News. I thought I could read good in these glasses. I don't know what's going on. Is my vision getting worse? Probably. An award-winning crime thriller in the intense tradition of Heat and Reservoir Dogs. Critics everywhere have hailed infernal affairs for its gritty action and international superstars. Loyalty, honor, betrayal. A superb thriller, fabulous throbs with action, suspense, and a seductive rhythm of its own. Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to checking that out. Hopefully that's like in the vein of The Killer and great films of that genre. Also has the insert. $2 each. $1.99. Moving on. All right, here we go. Next up. All right, I've talked about the host before. Most recently on my 3-part 2023 DVD horror movie collection. If you have not checked that out, make sure you check those videos out. Hundreds and hundreds of epic films. Now, let me see, make sure I'm not saying this right. Who's the director of the host? I'm losing my mind here. Hold on a second. Pause. All right, the director of the host is Bong Joon-ho. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. And, you know, I talked about that in the DVD, the horror collection video. And, you know, if you guys have not seen it, it's almost like a Godzilla creature feature type of film, and I really love that film. It's one of the first films that I've watched that had subtitles, and I was like, oh god, I'm ready to turn this shit off. I bought it and did not realize, like, if I would have never bought it if I knew it had subtitles, and I'm so glad, because it was kind of my gateway into subtitle films. And, you know, I've watched hundreds of subtitle films since then, and I realized it's definitely a hurdle you got to get over to see some of the best movies of all time. And The Host is an incredible film. So when I saw this, The Mother, I said, you know what? If this is this next film after The Host, I definitely got to check this one out. Roger Ebert says, fascinating. Shout out to Roger Ebert, man. Back when I was a kid, I used to watch him in Roger Ebert and I don't know why I'm thinking Steven Seagal. It's not Steven Seagal. Ebert and I think later on it was Ebert and Roper, but wasn't it Ebert and Seagal? Siegel? Oh, Siegel. Roger Ebert and something Siegel. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, definitely want to check this one out. Some kind of, I think her son's accused of a murder, and she's got to figure out who the real killer was and to get her son off of death row or something of that nature. But again, once I saw that he directed, I had to pick this up for $1.99. Boy, that was long-winded. All right, this is an 80s slasher film that a lot of you might be aware of, but not necessarily from this cover art here. But I'll show you the other cover art that you will be familiar with. Now, I own this on Laserdisc, but I always say this about Laserdisc. If you have Laserdisc and some of those like first releases or those old releases, when Laserdisc first started, you know, becoming popular, A lot of those have disc rot or the starting signs of disc rot, where they just do not look that good. And my copy, my Laserdisc of this really doesn't look very well. So definitely had to pick this up on DVD. Now this is the cover that is very iconic. And the fact that that might happen in the movie is reason enough to own this friggin' film. And if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen this. It does have some good practical effects and some cool kills. You're invited to the bloodiest party of the year. Happy birthday to me. Get ready for a taut mystery. Shocker that will keep you at the wit's end and at the edge of your seat. Popular high school senior Virginia Wainwright, Melissa Sue Anderson, survives the freak accident but suffers from memory loss and a traumatic blackout traumatic blackouts. As she attempts to resume normal life, something terrible has happened. Her friends are ruthlessly murdered one by one. Will she be the next victim, or is she the killer? The terrifying truth is revealed, is finally uncovered at Virginia's 18th birthday party, and you're invited. Yeah, man. Directed by J. Lee Thompson, it looks like. Not familiar with his work, but yeah, happy birthday to me. There you go. All right, next up here. Let's go all Goodwill, and then all the rest of it's going to be eBay and Amazon pickups, and a Walmart purchase as well. That's when the epicness starts. All right, so you guys know I love my animal horror. So I picked up Rogue with our girl Megan Fox. And yeah, this came out in the year 2020. It was directed by M.J. Bassett. And again, stars Megan Fox. Also stars Philip Winchester. And he's probably the best part of the movie. I got to be honest with you. There's so this is basically like a military movie where they're on these undercover military missions, and they run across I don't know where they're. I guess they're in. It almost seems like they're in Africa, but they run across this. Where children are kidnapped and forced into the sex trade, and while they're trying to get, I think, the mayor's daughter or the governor's daughter of a certain country has been kidnapped, and then they run into this ring of sex trading and stuff. So they end up saving the girls in this that are locked up. I'm explaining this terribly, but anyway. And then they're going against this ruthless gang leader in this certain country, and they blow up like all his shit. Now he's coming after them. He wants the daughter back, and all of a sudden a rogue lion is introduced to this whole mix. Now my concern was that this would be too much military, too much drama, and not enough lion horror. And to my credit, I was correct about that. But after I started seeing the lion and the really bad CGI, I was like, okay, I just want this movie to be over. So it runs an hour and 45 minutes, and it really was tough to get through the whole film. I didn't really care about the side stories in it. And again, this is a 2020 film. To see CGI that bad was really a letdown for me. Now, so Philip Winchester's character has this thing that really kind of made the movie funny, where someone is dying, and I guess to put them at ease and to make them feel, to calm down and to hopefully pull them through without, them breathing their last breath, he does this thing where he sings Backstreet Boys to them. And I don't know if they had to get permission from the Backstreet Boys or what, but he's like, everybody, yeah, yeah, everybody, yeah, yeah, Backstreet's back, all right. It's something like that. I mean, it's so funny. He's literally singing Backstreet. He does it multiple times in the film. And I don't know, I got a good laugh about that. This does have enough lion horror in it to be considered a lion horror, but again, an hour 45 minutes just ran so fucking long. Excuse my language, but I will keep this on the shelf once my collection is big enough where I can actually have a row of lion horror. I'll add this one to the pile, but definitely was let down by this film. Oh shit, am I hearing creaky dashboard again? All right, this was probably the best time I've had this week watching films, man. Really enjoyed this. It has Mario Van Peebles and our boy Lambert in it. The guys are good on screen together, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really fun ride, man. I highly recommend this one. Came out in 1993, directed by Darren Serafian, and he is no stranger to good films. He directed Terminal Velocity and Death Warrant with Van Damme. So yeah, man, definitely knows what he's doing. Now the funny thing about this, on the front of it says Christopher Lambert, obviously, Mario Van Peebles, they're the leads, right? Then it has Dennis Leary, which I can really go without in films. He kind of plays that same role every single time. There's no diversity in his acting performances. And then it's got Kadeem Hardison. For whatever reason, he's been in a lot of like action films. Now, but the funny thing about it, they don't mention who I would like to think was a big star at the time. Definitely since then, Patrick Stewart is in this friggin' film. And he plays like this mafia boss guy. And they have this really cool scene at the beginning of the film. So apparently he was robbed for like $400 million, right? And Dennis Leary's character's coming in and he's talking to him, and Dennis Leary's telling him, I'm gonna get your money back. And Patrick's character's threatening Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary's trying to act cool, but this Patrick Stewart's character is a straight up gangster. So you don't know the backstory or what the hell is going on, but he's got a bunch of guys, and they're putting a coffin into the ground, and they're burying, which turns out to be his wife, and his wife is screaming inside this casket, and they're throwing dry dirt on her, just burying her right in front when he's having this casual conversation with Dennis Leary. And Dennis Leary's like, well, I hope I don't do anything to end up in a casket like that. Just really a gangster-ass move. And so you're like, oh shit, this guy's a badass. And so kind of funny he's not headlining on it. I just found that weird. But anyway, I guess Lambert's brother is the one that stole the $400 million from Patrick Stewart's character, and he ends up dying. And then Mario Van Peebles, I think, works for like the CIA or the military or something. So now he's going after the money, and he teams up with Lambert. But at first he like gets Lambert hostage, and they got, you know, back and forth where they hate each other. He's shooting him, Lambert's shooting Peebles, and there's a lot of funny scenes in this film, man. Like Mario Van Peebles knows certain stuff, like he knows the name of the boat that the $400 million is hidden on, and Lambert knows certain things. Together they can find the money, but they don't want to tell each other stuff. They're trying to hold secrets and stuff. So they like set up camp at this one point, and Mario Van Peebles is talking in his sleep saying, oh, the money, I need the money. Oh, hey, darling, where are you at? Like he's talking to his girlfriend. So Lambert's like, oh man, this is perfect. I'm just gonna act like I'm his girlfriend. So he like he curls up next to him. He's like holding him, and Mario Van Peebles is like, oh yeah, hold me close. So he's like, oh, this is kind of weird, but let me do it. He starts holding him close. He's like, yeah, the money? Oh yeah, tell me about the money. Tell me about the name of the boat. And then he's like, oh, the name of the boat. He's like, yeah, the name of the boat. Tell me the name of the boat. And Mario Van Peebles like, oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you the name of the boat. Just give me a kiss. And friggin' Lambert's like, give you a kiss. And he's like, okay. And he actually starts to give him a kiss, and Mario Van Peebles, I guess he was acting like he was sleeping. He's like, what are you doing? You're gay, man. You're about to blow me for the information. Man, I started cracking up laughing. It's such a funny scene. But there's lots of like really hysterical scenes in this film, and but it's filled with action, man. It's a really cool action-packed film. Kind of reminds me of like we'll talk about him in a little while, Nick Masterakis film. But yeah, man, I highly recommend checking this one out. And yeah, man, one of the most enjoyable watches in quite some time. Cool film. I'm a big fan of Mario Van Peebles and Christopher Lambert as well, so it was a real treat to watch that one. All right, so Walmart pickup. I'm sure you guys are interested in PWM's opinion. I feel like I'm tripping over words too much. PWM's opinion on the new Evil Dead film. So yes, we have Evil Dead Rise, 2023 film directed by Lee Cronin, starring Alyssa Sutherland, who plays as Ellie. She's the mother that becomes possessed. She's basically like kind of like Bruce Campbell's character, but a female Bruce Campbell. And well, sort of and sort of not, because like Bruce Campbell's like things are possessed around him, but I think at some point Bruce Campbell becomes possessed in the films as well. But Alyssa Sutherland's performance was excellent. She was as a possessed. Her eyes are so cool. She's like, her body language was perfect. There's a lot that I liked about the film. I'm going to be honest with you. So the Book of the Dead was really badass in this film. They did a really good job of showing that. The portraits and the writing and everything about the Book of the Dead just looked spot on badass, man. I mean, it really did. And then they had this story about how the Book of the Dead was, you know, from a long time ago. And these priests had found it, and they buried it in a vault, or they put it in a vault, right? And then many years later, this vault was like underground, and then this earthquake happens in this building, this condominiums that they live in, kind of some torn down, like kind of like really bad condition condominiums, and an earthquake happens, opens up a hole in the ground. And then her kid, or one of her kids, jumps down in the hole like an idiot and finds that vault and actually finds the Book of the Dead, and then finds like all these records and stuff and like albums, like vinyl, right? And he's like a wannabe DJ, and it's really cool how he plays the album, and the albums have the priest talking about the Book of the Dead and how and telling like the story of the Book of the Dead. I think he has to like reverse it backwards, like brings you back to like the 80s, you know, with rock music, how you could play a record backwards, or the myth that you play a record backwards and the devil would talk, right? So they had a lot of that in it, which was really cool. I love the vinyl aspect of it. And then again, the Book of the Dead was awesome. She looked badass as a demon, Alyssa Sutherland. But at the end of the day, it was pretty much standard fare demon stuff for me. And many times it really didn't even feel like an Evil Dead film. That's my knock on it. And the bottom line is, Evil Dead 1 and 2 had some of the most unbelievable practical effects of all time. This right here, it's all CGI, guys. That for me was a major disappointment. I know we're in 2023, but to have like so much CGI and so less of practical effects, CGI blood, CGI cuts, CGI movements, CGI demon, I don't know, man. I just, I found it good, not great. I was definitely a little bit let down by it. But check it out. You guys might like it. I'm not saying I hated it. Comes with a slippy dip. And it comes with a DVD. I like how one's red. Those of you that don't know, that there's a really cool original Evil Dead Laserdisc release that's blood red. And I've always wanted that one. I don't know if you guys will be able to read that, but you can pause it if you need to. All right, what's up next here for you guys? All right, now, I am a big fan of Trucks, which is based upon the Stephen King book. We talked about it in my, I think it was part 3 of the DVD collection. Or the horror movie collection. It was Blu-rays and DVDs. No, I'm sorry, it was just DVDs. Now, I also did a Blu-ray horror collection, so go back and check that one out if you want to see that. Now, so Trucks was based upon the Stephen King novel, right? And the novel was actually called Trucks. So a lot of people hate on Trucks. This is their go-to. They have no need to watch Trucks. I disagree. I think Trucks is really fun. And I think it's up to par with this film. Might even be better. I know that's very controversial. Now, this came out in the year 1986. It was directed by Stephen King. I don't really know if Stephen King directed anything else after this. It was kind of a shit show for him. He's disowned this, by the way. And it's highly rumored that he was very, I think he commented or was noted to say that he was super effed up on cocaine during the direction of this film, during the production of this film. And, you know, this won Razzies Awards and all kinds of stuff. Super cheesy film here, guys. Now, that's the thing. This is a very campy movie, which is definitely a departure from Stephen King's typical source of material. It's usually straightforward, serious, hardcore horror stuff, and, you know, not very much campiness. And this is definitely a departure. Now, if Stephen King was doing cocaine during this film, I think he was doing cocaine with Emilio Estevez, because Emilio Estevez, I don't know, he just seems off in this film. But something about the Earth is traveling in the tail of a comet, and that's why all the machines are acting wacky. I don't know if that was the same story in Trucks, but I don't really remember that being the same story, but I digress. Now, I enjoyed this film. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm just saying Stephen King apparently didn't enjoy it. I like Trucks. I like this film. And it's just good, campy fun, man. It's the kind of thing to get some popcorn out and just pop some popcorn, sit back, chill, have some pizza, and watch the craziness that is Maximum Overdrive. It's fun. And of course, the Vestron release here, guys. Very cool. I mean, just the artwork alone is well worth owning this baby. Looks like it's got a ton of special features. Vestron does not do the inner art, which is a disappointment. It's got those really nice, like, kind of almost hollow foil covers. So there you have it. Get ready for the ultimate battle of man and bloodthirsty machine in this terrifying Stephen King classic. For 3 horrifying days, the Earth passes through the tail of a mysterious comet. The skies glow an eerie green as humanity waits to see what the fallout will be. And basically, these guys are held up in a gas station, which I think is pretty much the same as Trucks. Oh, so probably the best part of this that I did not mention, it's right there in the corner. AC/DC actually released an album for this friggin' movie, man. Unbelievable, man. So I don't know if they've ever done anything like that before. So that alone, you have to buy this friggin' this movie on whatever release that's out there just for the music, man. AC/DC, man. Come on. That's badass, man. That's more badass than Tangerine Dreams doing a soundtrack. I mean, think about it. All right, let me get some water here. All right, man, this movie's hilarious, man. All right, so Ninja Terminator. First of all, I'm a name guy. You have Ninja and you have Terminator. I am buying it. I'll buy everything that's released of it. If it's on Laserdisc, I want it. If it's on Blu-ray, I want it. The name is phenomenal. Now, this came out in the year 1985. It's directed by Godfrey Ho. Now, Godfrey Ho has directed some of the worst films of all time, I think. He's like the Ed Wood of Kung Fu, right? Now, this stars, what the hell? Hong Jung Lee, I believe, who I think is like a real martial artist, and Jack Lamb. I think I'm saying that right. Now, oh, I'm sorry, Richard Harrison as well. Richard Harrison's been in some stuff. He's really like the one of the highlights of this film. Now, Richard Harrison is a ninja, and Jack Lamb is another ninja. They're both white ninjas, and I think Hong Jung Lee is the other ninja. There's 3 ninjas. Now, if you grew up in the 80s watching Sunday Morning Kung Fu, this is going to be right up your alley, guys. Now, in this film, some of the funniest dialogue. So it's all about the golden ninja statue. Everybody wants the golden ninja statue. That's what the whole movie's about. The golden ninja statue ends up in the wrong hands. They're trying to get the golden ninja statue back. And it's so freaking hilarious. They'll be talking on the phone. They'd be like, okay, I'm going to need the gold ninja statue. No, I'm not going to give you the gold ninja statue. No, you don't understand. I need the gold ninja statue right now. No, I'm not giving you the gold ninja statue. The gold ninja statue is going to stay right where it's at. I am the beholder of the gold ninja statue. No, I need the gold ninja statue. No, the gold ninja statue is not going to you. You're never going to get the gold ninja statue. Over and over again with the gold ninja statue. It's so funny. There's scenes where this like crime boss guy sends these little robots. They're like the size of, I don't know, the size of an Ewok or whatever. It's just like little toy robots, right? This toy robot, like almost like a battery-powered robot, will just walk into someone's house, and they'll pick up the robot, and the robot will be like, you must return the gold ninja statue by this time. We have kidnapped your wife. Super cheesy, super fun. There's a scene where this guy's trying to assassinate Richard Harrison's character, and I think it's Richard Harrison or Jack Lamb's character, and they're like dressed in like their office outfit, coming from work. They open the door. The person that's going to assassinate them is like in the kitchen, looking around the corner at them coming through the door, dressed in their office clothes. Literally 2 seconds later, the Jack Lamb or Harrison's character disappears around the corner, and then shows up on the other side, full ninja suit. 2 seconds later, it's got ninjas disappearing, ninjas shooting smoke, ninjas shooting fire, ninjas shooting bolts of electricity. It's got everything. Super fun film. And, it's one of those, it's so bad that it's really actually pretty good. Yeah, man, check this out. It's got some good Kung Fu action in it as well. Super over the top. What are we at here? All right, now, moving on. Now let's show this off because I have not, this might be one of the most epic things, but I don't care because I haven't seen it yet, and we're going to talk about it next week. Let me see if there's anything else that I have not talked about. Yeah, or I have not watched. Let me show you the stuff that I've not watched real quick here. We're almost done with this video. We might even beat the hour mark. Now, you guys know, and girls know, I love my rat horror films. And I think right about now, Of Unknown Origin might be my favorite. The Peter Weller killer rat film. That might be my favorite now. It's a very close second to what's the other rat film? I can't think of it right now. But anyway, Of Unknown Origin is probably my top rat film at this moment. But this one might overcome that because I hear a lot of great things about this film. And it's supposed to be an epic rat film. And I think the rats are supposed to be gigantic and practical, you know, in a practical manner where like they're like people in suits or some shit like that. I don't know how they do it, but it looks fucking epic on when I'm watching the trailer of it. Now, this is the Food of the Gods. Now, I don't know what the deal is because I don't know if this is like a bootleg. It looks a little bootleg-ish to me. But I'm okay with it if it looks good. And the only reason I mention that is, like, every release that I could find, first of all, Food of the Gods, I think you can buy it in a multi-disc with 2 movies on it, Food of the Gods, and then something else. I can't remember what the other movie is, but a double feature is what I'm really trying to say. And, but it's like $50 or $40. I did not want to pay that much money for it. And I think the DVD might even be worth more money. It's crazy. So I found a foreign release of it, and every foreign release I found was in the wrong language, or it wouldn't play on region 1 or region A. Or I couldn't find an all-region disc of it. This is like the only one that I could find. It was kind of strange. So I got it for a really cheap price, and it even says on the back NTSC. So if they bootlegged it, they did a good job of it, then I'm okay with that, paying what I paid for it. But I'm gonna have to watch it and let you guys know about it. But I hear this is one of the best rat films. This has to do with, you know, doing scientific testing on rats, and I guess the rats grow to an enormous size, or the size of like tigers and shit. So this promises to be super friggin' epic, guys. Can't wait to talk about this after I've watched it in the next video. I'm assuming this is probably Italian directed. Seems like Italian fare. All right, speaking of Italian, when I saw this on eBay, I had to pick this up immediately. Now, I went back and watched other videos of people. I've never seen anyone show off this release right here. But I've seen the, Blue Underground. I've seen the company's Blue Underground. I've seen YouTubers show off each individual movie from Blue Underground. So this must be a fairly new release. They put all 3 together, and I think so. So the first film is 1990, The Bronx Warriors. These are all post-apocalyptic Italian films, guys. The next movie is Escape from the Bronx, which is a direct sequel, I believe, to the first film. And then you have The New Barbarians, which I think is loosely tied to the series. I don't think it's a direct sequel. I could be wrong. But it's a trilogy that's related in some way, some form or fashion. Now, all 3 films were directed by Enzo G. Castellari. Now, okay, first of all, 1990, The Bronx Warriors. It's kind of stupid it's called 1990. Maybe it's just called The Bronx Warriors. Or maybe it has multiple names. Anyway, now, Vic Morrow, who's a big star in Italian movies. Fred Williamson is in it. Mark Gregory, who's in a lot of horror films, a lot of Italian stuff. And I think Mark Gregory's like 6'9". He's like an imposing dude. Plays a really good antagonist in films. Now, Escape from the Bronx has Mark Gregory again, It's got Henry Silva in it, and The New Barbarians has George Eastman in it and Fred Williamson. It seems like Fred Williamson might be in all 3 films, but I don't know if he plays a big role in those films. But I know in this one he's like a lead in The New Barbarians. I've heard nothing but good stuff about these films, guys. It's supposed to be one of the best. You know, this is the best of the best when it comes to post-apocalyptic films. Some of the best ever made. And yeah, just a really cool release here by Blue Underground. And yes, everything comes on their own disc. Super cool artwork. Oh, is that falling apart already? No. This needs to be... Yep. What's going on here? Well, yeah, super cool artwork. There's the other one. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys know when this was released, because I've never seen this, and I looked at a lot of YouTube videos. I've never seen anyone show this one off. So again, I'm brief with this, guys, because I've never seen any of these movies. We're going to be talking about these movies in the next video. I'm going to watch all 3 of them. I can't wait, man. Super excited about it. Post-apocalyptic collection, Italian Fare, guys. All right, I've been watching a lot of Wings Hauser stuff, man. We've talked about a few Wings Hauser films on this channel. Man, Wings Hauser is a dirtbag pimp in this movie, man. Unbelievable role. It's one of his best roles. On the street, the real trick is staying alive. Collector's edition, Season Hubley, who's the female prostitute in this film, Gary Swanson, who's the head police, or the main police officer in the film, and then Wings Hauser plays the pimp, the deadly pimp. Vice Squad, guys. Okay. Really, so Wings Hauser, he plays one of the most insanely disgusting, piggish, vile, murderous, rapist, torturing pimp of all time, guys. This is a career role right here for him, and he blows it out of the water, guys. Absolute home run here. Now, Gary Swanson's character plays the police officer in this film, and one of his lines in this film was like such a great cop line. He's rolling around the car. They're looking for Wings Hauser because Wings Hauser has murdered somebody, and Wings Hauser was arrested, but somehow breaks out of the back of the police car and kills the 2 police officers. So he's wanted for multiple murders. And so Gary Swanson's character, they're driving around, and he's got kind of like a rookie cop type of thing. So it's like him kind of mentoring a rookie cop. And the rookie cop's like, I don't know if he's a rookie, but he's just a younger cop. And Gary Swanson is a veteran on the police force. And he's like, man, how do you deal with this stuff, man? These pimps and prostitutes and murder and all these ghettos and all this shit that we have to deal with. I don't understand how you get through your days, man. He looks at him and he says, there's a rule I keep wait, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. There's a rule I keep to myself. There's 2 days out of the week I don't worry about. Yesterday and tomorrow. And I'm like, man, that's just such a great cop line. It's such great cop speak, you know, as I spit. That's definitely something that a cop would have, that type of mentality. I just love that line in the film. Oh, by the way, there's been like so many like cool lines in some of these films. I should have wrote it all down. There's a line when everything's going so crazy and maximum overdrive. People are getting killed. Machines are running over, crashing into gas stations, and it's just so much crazy shit is happening. One of the characters says, man, the whole world done went tits up on us. And I never heard that line before. Almost like, you know, you're getting F, the whole world just went tits up on us. I thought that's a really classic line. There's a line in the next movie I gotta try to remember too. So many fun lines in some of these movies. I can't remember if I mentioned this is a 1982 film, and oh no, I'm sorry, it's not Gary Swanson. Let me see. Oh yeah, it is Gary Swanson. Oh, okay, I was mixing it up. So this is directed by Gary Sherman. And what's interesting about Gary Sherman, he does have some pedigree. He directed Dead and Buried and Poltergeist 3. Now, if you don't remember Poltergeist 3, Poltergeist 3 is basically Poltergeist in a high-rise office building. And it actually was a really cool Poltergeist. Dealt a lot with reflections of mirrors and stuff. Really creepy Poltergeist. So definitely has some pedigree, Gary Sherman. And man, this is a fun film, man. It's basically about a pimp and a prostitute trying to get away from him, and he'll kill anyone, including her, to get revenge, because he's a sadistic freaking dude, man. But yeah, this is a Scream Factory release. Highly recommend this one. This is a fun film. All right, we got 3 films left, and I'll let you guys go. I gotta get back to the house and hopefully finish Ocarina of Time. I'm doing my first playthrough of it, and I am at I'm finally at Ganondorf's castle, and I've just opened up there's like a force field around it. So now I'm like, there's a force field inside the place that he's at. So now I'm going into there right now. So I'm very close to beating one of the most epic video games of all time. What can I say? All right, so we talked about, what was it? Hired to Kill? I think that was it, the movie. A Nico Mastorakis film that I really enjoyed. I think in my last Goodwill hunting video. And so I saw this one and thought I had a cool premise. And since he was directing, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to pick it up. And it's a cool Arrow release. Yeah, man, so Nightmare at Noon. This came out in 1988. Look at me in the 80s movies. I'm picking up so many 80s films, man. It's definitely the best decade in film. Now, again, directed by Nico Mastorakis. This is starring Wings Hauser, again with Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins, who was epic, and George Kennedy, which is a really good actor from the old school as well. Now, this does not highlight a really good bad guy named Brian James, who is right there, who's got the really cool eyes in the film, and he's the main antagonist in the film. Now, if you guys don't know him, he was in Blade Runner, 48 Hours, The Fifth Element. He's been in a ton of movies. Now, basically, Brian James' character is like this evil leader of this, it's almost like a government operation, and they have this these government vans with all kinds of electronic equipment and computers inside of them, and they zero in on this very small town, and their job is to do an experiment on this town, and they're somehow able to put like a force field around the town so no one can leave. Then they poison the water with some kind of chemical, and what it does is if you drink the water in this town, it starts going into their water system, treatment system, and because they pull out of like the rivers and stuff. And once you drink the water, you turn into this rabid, psychopathic, almost like a zombie type of character. And so that's what happens. Some of the townspeople have drinking the water. They start going crazy. So it kind of turns into a semi type of like zombie film. But But anyway, definitely enjoyed this one. Bo Hopkins was great in it. And our boy, I always like Wings Hauser in films. George Candy's great in it. Brian James plays a great bad guy. And Bo Hopkins plays like the guy who's like hitchhiking through town. He's the outsider, kind of plays like a James Dean type of rebel type of character. He ends up getting the girl in the end. And I swear to God, this has like 25 minutes straight of shootout on these rock mountains between Brian James's crew and Bo Hopkins and the rest of the good guys. They're shooting it out on this mountain, this rock mountain, for like 25 minutes straight. It's insane. Now, is this my favorite film of all time? No. It's a good film, but I tell you what, at the end of this film, it brings it from just being decent to being really good to me. There's a dueling helicopter scene at the end of this movie that probably lasts 10 minutes. That's some of the best aircraft flight dueling scene between planes, helicopters, anything that flies. This is one of the greatest dueling flying sequences I've ever seen in my life. It is so badass and epic. I can't even explain how great this is, guys. Helicopters exploding, crashing into mountains. It's so fun. Helicopters shooting at each other. That part of the movie is worth paying the admission price to owning this, guys. It is so fun. I think you will love the end of this movie. Really turned around a decent, pretty cool film into being something something badass. Really badass. I think I said that in some podcast. You do not have a true 80s or 90s action film if you don't have exploding helicopters. And that is the truth. Take it to the bank. All right, now, I grew up on Masters of the Universe, guys. I had He-Man toys. I had a He-Man lunchbox in elementary school. I had Castle Grayskull. I had He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, Cyclops, Trapjaw. I had them all. I was a huge He-Man fan, guys. Now, this came out in the year 1987. It was directed by Gary Goddard and stars our boy Dolph Lundgren as, obviously, He-Man, guys. It also stars Frank Langella. He won like an Academy Award for Frost Nixon playing Nixon. He plays Skeletor in the film, does a really good job. And my beloved Meg Foster plays, I think, an invented character for this movie, and there's a lot of that. A character called Evil Lynn. And, you know, at one point I would just love if she took off her crown and just let her hair flow in the wind. It does not happen, but she's got those beautiful, epic eyes. I think she's the only one trying to really act in this film, because it's a lot of bad acting. Also in this film, I thought is one of the highlights of this film, James Token, who was in Back to the Future. He was the principal in Back to the Future, talking about slackers and shit. James Token is hilarious in this. Really, he plays the police officer in the film. Now, if you guys don't know, Cannon Films is one of the most epic film production companies in the world back in the day. This movie right here is the reason why Cannon Films went bankrupt. That and probably Superman 4, I think. But they spun a ton of money in this film. This film has no shortage of badass special effects. I'm going to tell you right now. It is filled with special effects. It is filled with... Okay, here's the deal. I feel like I'm watching Star Wars at times. This is like He-Man mixed with Star Wars. It has this epic symphonic Star Wars soundtrack which is hilariously close to Star Wars. I can't believe it hasn't been sued. Now, here's my problems with this film, guys. There's no Trapjaw. There's no Ram Man. There's no Battle Cat. There's no Cyclops. There's no Merman. There's so many characters. Literally, you just have Teela and you have Man-at-Arms. On the bad side, I think you have Beast Man. Of course, you have Skeletor and He-Man. But I don't think there's any other characters. So the word is they couldn't afford any more characters because they had spent so much money on special effects. Now, my other problem with this film is I would have liked some of the music from the actual original cartoon. Not this Star Wars shit. Although it is kind of cool, the Star Wars music, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, here's the deal with this, guys. I had a lot of fun with this film. I don't want you to think I don't like this film. I actually love this film. But I do understand the criticism of this film. I do understand some of the bad reviews of this film. But I have to say this. This is all I have as far as a movie, guys. This is from my childhood. I used to bleed, cry, drink, eat Masters of the Universe. It was my life as a kid, guys. I loved it. And this is all I have as far as the big screen. I don't have anything else. So for that, I have to say thank you, Canon, for bringing this to the big screen. I love you, Canon, for that. Now, I didn't read too much into this, guys, but I just heard that Netflix dropped, or someone dropped a film, a new He-Man film, and now they're looking for another company to take it on, or something of that nature. Now, if that's true and you know about it, leave something in the comments below and talk about it. Are you guys excited about a new He-Man film? Because this does lead, at the end of the movie, leads you to believe that there's going to be another film. Now, why they haven't done it, I wish they would have done it already. Obviously, Canon's not going to be able to do it, but someone else could have picked it up. Because Dolph Lundgren's not getting any younger. But actually, Dolph Lundgren, I've seen him a few years ago in a convention. Well, it was on YouTube. He looked pretty damn good. You got to bring it back now. Dolph Lundgren can still pull it off. And, yeah, man. You got to love it, guys. You got to love it. All right, where are we at? Oh, shit. It's going to be our typical hour. Welcome back to PWM's hour of DVDs and Blu-rays. All right, last film, and I'll let you guys go. Pretty epic stuff right here, guys. I'm getting into the Italian stuff. Pretty hardcore. We have Cannibal Apocalypse. Now, I would say after Cannibal Holocaust, this is probably the most famous cannibal film of all time, guys. This is a 1980 film. It was directed by Antonio Margheriti. And I absolutely adore the other name of this film. This is probably has the two baddest ass names of all time, right, guys? Cannibal Apocalypse and Invasion of the Flesh Hunters. Wow. I mean, it just takes my breath away, guys. Now, I'm not going to say John Saxon is a god because that would be sacrilegious, but I am going to say he's an absolute badass in everything he does. Of course, we love him as the father in Nightmare on Elm Street, but he's been in so many incredible films. Now, also in this is Giovanni Lombardo Radice, who was also in City of the Living Dead, House on the Edge of the Park, and plays the antagonist in a lot of these Italian horror apocalyptic films. Let me just put it to you that way. Now, I gotta, this is probably really highly controversial at the time. Basically, this takes the two worlds that these Italians love, the post-Vietnam genre and mix it with the post-apocalyptic genre, and then mix that with the cannibal genre. So they mix 3 different things together in this film, and you have it all here. What's the important stuff I want to touch on here? So you have the Vietnam stuff. Early on, they show John Saxon. He's like the troop leader, or I was never in the military, so I don't know how you. He's basically like the commander or the leader of his troop. I think it's a rescue mission to go back in and save people who have been captured by the Vietnamese. Now, 2 of the guys are like in an underground bunker trapped down there, and you're led to believe they've been there for a long time and they're going to die of hunger if something does not happen, if they do not get rescued. All of a sudden, in a scuffle, a battle, a shootout, a female Vietnamese, I believe, falls into the bunker. And what do? They start eating her raw, tearing her flesh, and absolutely eating everything off of her till she's like bones. And they're cannibals now. I guess they were so hungry they became cannibals. And so now we move on to a little bit into the future, post the war, and the Giovanni's character there's another black character. I didn't write his name in it, but he's in a lot of good a lot of black exploitation films, something Hill, I believe. But Hill and Giovanni's, they're the ones that were doing the cannibalism. So after the war, they end up getting thrown into psychiatric ward, like they're held locked up because they're crazy for what happened with the cannibalism and stuff. Now, John Saxon goes on to a normal life. He's married. Nothing's wrong with him. And then finally, Giovanni's character gets let go. They think that he's healed mentally, so they let him go. Well, he's not healed. He ends up starting to cannibalize people again, which starts in a movie theater. For some reason, some chick's getting naked with a guy, and they're making out, and he's sucking on her breast. And, well, Giovanni's character is sitting behind them, and he starts eating her neck. And so the police chase him down to a gun store. He's locked inside the gun store, and they get into a shootout. He's eating like a security guard. And so then later on in the film, you find out it's almost like a cannibal zombie film. Whenever you bite someone and they do not die, they turn into these flesh-eating cannibals as well. So now there's a group, more people they bite, the group becomes larger. And then there's a twist in the film where you think that John Saxon's character is the good guy, besides some weird shit that's going on with the neighbor's kid. Then you're kind of like, he's not really a good guy. But anyway, you think he's the protagonist in the film, but then all of a sudden, he ends up craving flesh and stuff and becomes a cannibal. And then he's with all the cannibals, and they're running around trying to cannibalize people. Hopefully I'm explaining that good to you guys. If not, you need to go check it out. Pretty cool film, man. Kino Lorber release here. And let you guys read the special features on there. Like I was saying earlier, I gotta imagine this is like pretty controversial when it first came out. I mean, you had like cannibal films as far as like Hannibal Lecter style films where there was an individual, and then of course you have Cannibal Holocaust, which was African tribes cannibalizing people, which we've heard of, that there's actually real tribes that are cannibals. But this is the first time it was brought to like America, and there were like cannibals in regular towns, I think, as far as films are concerned, if that makes any sense. Now, yeah, lots of special features on here. I'll let you guys pause it if you want to check that out. And yeah, man, this is a first watch for me, man. I really enjoyed it, man. Lots of just great practical effects in here. Chewing of flesh and blood squirting everywhere. And yeah, man, I can see why this gets such high praise as far as cannibal film lovers. I have seen Cannibal Holocaust before, and that's probably the realest cannibal film I've ever seen before. And like, you're almost like, wow, is this real? And I remember the director of Cannibal Holocaust ended up going to getting locked in jail because they did think it was real. You can't get any realer than that. I mean, come on, guys. There's another movie called Cannibal Feral, which I have not seen. And incidentally, I just watched The Green Inferno the other night, which is basically like kind of like a redoing of Cannibal Holocaust, to be honest with you. And that's a who did Green Inferno? They always call him a master of horror, but that's very questionable. I can't think of his name right now. The director of Cabin Fever, you guys know who I'm talking about. But The Green Inferno is just so bad. It is not good. I will not put that up here with Cannibal Apocalypse or Cannibal Holocaust. Let me just put it to you that way. And but yeah, check this one out, man. Good shit. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video. And good luck out there looking for whatever physical media that you want to find. And let's keep physical media alive. I'm the PMM, the Physical Media Mac, and I will be back. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.